The reason it's important is because we always think that we are the hero. We always think we are the hero because you are the hero. In your life, you are the hero. And we have this Instagram sickness now. We have the Instagram sickness where everyone thinks what I ate for breakfast is the most important thing that everyone needs to know right now. Or, everything about me is just so important and everyone needs to know. Hey, how are you doing? It's Alan here, and I want to talk really quickly about what I think is possibly one of the most important books ever written. One of the most important books ever written. Now, a good friend of mine bought this book for me, Building a Story Brand, Donald Miller. Donald Miller. Now, I believe this is one of the most important books ever written. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are in marketing, if you are in digital, if you're a designer, if you're a copywriter, one of the most important books ever written, Building a Story Brand. Because it breaks it down. It breaks it down. Now, the reason it's important is because we always think that we are the hero. We always think we are the hero because you are the hero. In your life, you are the hero. And we have this Instagram sickness now. We have the Instagram sickness where everyone thinks what I ate for breakfast is the most important thing that everyone needs to know right now. Or, everything about me is just so important and everyone needs to know. And this seeps into companies a little bit. And it seeps into marketing a little bit. Especially now, we all think we're the most important people. Don't we? This is what I had for breakfast this morning. This is my 100 pictures of my holidays. Am I great? Could you like this and tell me I'm great? Could you like this? Just put a comment and they tell me I'm great. And that's the Instagram sickness that we all have now. And that's absolutely fine. You are great. You are great, and what you had for breakfast is really important, and I want to know. And I want to know about the holidays, and you are amazing. But we've got to be careful with marketing. We've got to be careful with marketing, and we've got to be careful with, because this is what this Building a Story Brand tells us. We've got to be careful with marketing, and we've got to be careful in companies if you're running a company, or if you're just marketing, or particularly with copywriters. So much with copywriters. Because although you are amazing, and you are interesting, and you are exciting, although all of that is 100% true, 100% true, for you in your world, you're the most important person on the planet in your world. But for marketing, and this is what Steve Jobs learned, and I'm always worried about talking about Steve Jobs, because if you're talking to entrepreneurs, which I am, I think this is going onto LinkedIn, probably going to be talking to entrepreneurs or people who are important in companies. When you're talking to entrepreneurs about Steve Jobs, it comes a little bit cliche after a while. You think so? It's mentioning Steve Jobs cliche, but it is important too. So I'm just going to say it. So when Steve Jobs went to Pixar, and he talks about this in the book. This is straight from the book. When Steve Jobs didn't go to Pixar, he invested in Pixar, and he worked with him for a while. And what Pixar taught him, and this is what he talked about later on when he said that you can't see it going through. You can't see how important your life events are when you're going through them until afterwards you look back and you see, oh, that's why this happened. That's why this happened. So when he looked back, I think, and he saw, well, I went to Pixar, and what I learned in Pixar is I learned that story matters. That story is important. And all stories are made up of what's called a hero's journey. You've probably heard all this before. I'm going to say it again. All stories are made of what's called a hero's journey, where there's a hero and you are not the hero. Your customer is the hero. You're the hero in your life. Don't get me wrong. You're the hero in your life. Your life is important. But for marketing, for copywriting, and for companies, your customer is the hero. So Steve Jobs learned that in the hero's journey, which goes, there's a hero that is living his normal life. He doesn't want to be a hero, or he or she doesn't want to be a hero. They just want to live their normal lives. And something happens to mess up their lives. Something happens the dark Sith Lord comes, Darth Vader comes, wherever it is, something comes to mess up their life, and they are pushed into being this hero character. And as they become this hero in the story, a guide comes. Now that's where you come in. If you're a marketer, if you're a copywriter, if you're a company, if you're running a company, you're the guide. And that's what Steve Jobs realized when he was working with Pixar. Not working with Pixar, I guess he owned it, or he owned part of it. But when he was in Pixar, he realized, yes, the company is the guide. Because Pixar, they were drawing pictures on a computer. They didn't have the actors. They didn't have the actors to make up so the story was everything. For Pixar, the story was everything, because these were just bloody cartoon characters that aren't that interesting until you put them into a story narrative. So he needed to learn what the hero's journey is, and he needed to learn how you create a story when he was in Pixar, because that's all Pixar was the hero's journey. So the hero's journey is, there's a hero going along, living his life. The Dark Sith Lord comes in, messes up their life. They're pushed into being a hero, and they find a guide. And the guide is the company. The guide is the company. So the guide is your MacBook or your iPad Pro. This is your guide that's going to give you the tools you need in your journey. So this hero's journey fits into every company. If you're a weight loss company, you're the guide. You're the guide. The hero is a person who's been trying to lose weight for years. They've been trying to lose weight for years and they can't do it. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault. They didn't have the right tools. They're being told the wrong things. They're being told their willpower was bad. They were told that they just make bad choices, they're bad people. And none of that was ever true. None of that was ever true. Yes, they were being compelled to make bad choices. Yes, they were compelled to go and eat that cheesecake at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm speaking from experience. But it wasn't their fault. It wasn't their fault. They were given the wrong tools. They were told that it was just their body, when it was actually their mind that they needed to get control of, or at least get in touch with their mind, so that they could make better choices. They've been told to eat wrong foods. Your product might be the food that they should actually eat. They should actually be eating or drinking, whatever happens to be. Your product may be what they should be doing. So let them know that they're the hero and they've been lied to all their lives. All their lives they've been lied to, but we're going to tell them. We're going to be the guy that tells them the truth, that makes them the hero. And then once they get in touch with the guide, they overcome this bad thing that happened in their life. And because they overcame it, they become more of who they are. And that's it's a very, very rough estimation. Read the story brand if you want all the hero's journey details. That's a very rough estimation of what the hero's journey is. So I think you should actually buy Building a Story Brand and read it if you want more information about that, because they have a whole framework that they work through. But I just wanted to give a quick synopsis of why this is a really important book. This is probably one of the most important books for marketing if you run a company, because it is all about your customer. It's all about your customer, and your customer is the hero, and you have got to be the guy that puts the tools in place for this customer so they can be the hero and overcome this terrible thing that's happened to them. That is not their fault. So just really quickly, guys, I wanted to bring you through Building a Story Brand and why it's probably one of the most important marketing books ever written. Maybe I'm wrong in that. Let me know. Put it in the comments. There's probably more important books that have been written that I don't know about. So put it in the comments, because I would. If there is a more important book, I want to read it about marketing, about business. Just let me know. There probably is. Now, don't get me wrong. There's system books. I think Systemology by David Jennings, really, really important book. There's lots of books, but that's in a different area. That's not the marketing. Systems are also really, really important in business. But as far as marketing is concerned, I believe that Building a Story Brand is probably one of the most important books ever written, because you need to understand the hero's journey. If you want to write any copy, if you want to do any marketing for your clients, you need to understand the hero's journey. And you need to follow this simple hero's journey system that every story is written on. Every movie you've ever gone to see, they all seem really, really different, but they're all written on the same skeleton of the hero's journey. This has been Alan here. Just really want to bring you through building a story brand really quickly.